Welcome to Vegas Revealed, episode 53.
Well, Chinese New Year is upon us, and Las Vegas always celebrates with displays and special events. We hit the Strip to get a Chinese lesson from an unexpected source.
So, signature one, obviously, for the holiday. If you want to say Happy New Year, you say Sun Lin Fai Lok. And I probably butchered that as far as the dialect, but Sun Lin Fai Lok.
Sun Lin Fai Lok?
Like Sun Lin Fai Lok.
Okay.
I'm the wrong guy to say this, but Sun Lin Fai Lok means Happy New Year. They'll know what you're saying.
It's going to take some practice to master that. Plus, you won't believe how many fresh cut flowers and plants go into one of the Strip's most popular displays. It's all coming up on Vegas Revealed.
Let's go to Vegas, baby. Let's go tonight. Right now. Let's go to Vegas. We'll stay up all night.
Welcome to Vegas Revealed, episode 53. I'm Dayna Roselli along with Sean McAllister. And I don't know why we always choose to record our podcast when we're feeling a little sluggish, but we have good reason today. We hit the Strip, we went to the Palazzo, and went to Mott 32. And we're a little, I don't want to say hungover, but slow today.
Well, here's the deal. There are so few occasions that get us out for night activities around Las Vegas these days. So when we go out, it ends up being an occasion, and then you just kind of, we're not used to it. We're not used to the rhythm of going out and getting back into the swing of things the next day.
Exactly. And, we were taste testing different kinds of drinks last night, and then that, that adds up. But then, you stay, you hang. We even gambled a little. Well, you did.
Yeah.
You were playing what was that Little Shop of Horrors slot?
It was a Little Shop of Horrors slot machine. It was the first time that I'd seen that game out on the gaming floor. So it was something new and shiny, and it had locked-in wilds, which I love.
And listen, you cashed out up $1.25. So
That's
I'm
right.
proud of you.
It's not a loss.
It's not a loss. I was like, really? And then your husband was like, yeah, it's a win. I was like, all right, we'll move on, but I would keep playing. Something we talked about last week is the Buffalo Bills, our hometown football team. We said we hoped they would win their game because it feels good to see them back in the playoffs, and they did win.
They did, and so now they are facing the Kansas City in the AFC Championship game, and this is the first time, Dayna, since 1993 that the Bills have been playing for the AFC Championship.
It's incredible. I graduated high school in 1993, so that's a long time ago.
I mean, there's like a whole generation of people. I can't even call them kids because at this point they're pushing 30. So there's like a whole generation of people who have never seen the Buffalo Bills be good like this.
I know. It's so true. Yeah, and we were telling you about one of our local pizza places here in town called Naked City Pizza, and I saw them tweet after the win because they've been putting like tents in their parking lot to spread people out and be able to have them outside to be able to enjoy the game. And they said, we're going to need a bigger tent.
That's a good sign.
It is.
A good sign that there's a loyal fan base of Western New York sports fans out west here in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. So hopefully, we're recording this on a Friday, so hopefully during the game on Sunday, the Bills will be victorious against Kansas City, and we'll have some more sporting news to celebrate next week here on Vegas Revealed.
That's right. And, I did notice, side note, Naked City Pizza did do one of the Bernie memes, too. Bernie Sanders was the big hit at the inauguration in Washington, D.C.
With his woolen mittens.
Everyone's putting them everywhere. We haven't done it yet, but I kind of feel like, well, maybe we should just move on from that. It's kind of getting old.
It is. I think if you don't do it by a certain time, then you miss the boat.
Exactly.
And you're just trying too hard.
Right.
After a certain point.
True. But one of our biggest displays, really, in Las Vegas on the Strip is at the Bellagio. The Bellagio Conservatory has incredible displays for every season, and they've recently put up their Chinese New Year's display.
Yeah, they have a whole team of horticulturalists who work year-round to grow all of these magnificent flowers and plants to incorporate into the beautiful and I mean jaw-dropping really displays that they construct over there at the conservatory, and this year is no different for the Chinese Lunar New Year.
Yeah, it looks incredible, and we'll post some pictures and videos on our social media if you want to take a look, because I know everyone that can't get here to Las Vegas is missing it. But, they also sent some statistics over, and I always find it really incredible. So if you're wondering what the deal is and what goes into these displays, one of the numbers at the top, 62,956 plants and flowers on display throughout the conservatory.
Oh my God.
I know. 46,024 fresh cut flowers on display.
Jeez.
And 12,112 blooming plants on display.
That is absolutely mind-blowing.
It really
That's
is.
a lot of stuff.
150 kumquat trees.
Oh.
11,900 gallons of water. It's really incredible.
And don't forget, Dayna, there are 2 golden oxen involved too.
Okay, yeah, very important. Year of the ox, right?
It is, yeah. But, the Chinese New Year really is an important time here in Las Vegas. It's when we generally would see more than 230,000 visitors from China coming here to Las Vegas to celebrate. There are displays at just about every resort on the Las Vegas Strip. So it has become an important time here in Las Vegas to welcome our visitors from China. That's not going to be the case this year.
No, but, still, I must hand it to the resorts and casinos because they are still finding ways and continuing on with tradition. And they're not letting, what will or won't happen or what visitors they will or won't get, this year change anything. They're still moving ahead and having special menus and special events. And like we mentioned, the conservatory's all set up and the decorations are up. So, we just keep moving on and, hoping that at least the people that are able to drive in and some people fly in, from around the country are able to enjoy it as well.
Yeah, the 15-day celebration still going ahead. Not quite the same as we would see in previous years, and hopefully it'll pick up again next year. The Lunar New Year celebration still happening here in Las Vegas, and one of the restaurants that is marking the celebration is Mott 32 over at the Venetian in Palazzo.
Yeah, great restaurant. First of all, gorgeous inside.
Stunning,
Stunning. I loved the chandelier with the feathers. That was my favorite thing. And P.S., we will also be putting clips and pictures of some of the things that we tried and also some of the decor on our social media as well. It's at Vegas Revealed or at Vegas.revealed on Instagram. But just an absolutely gorgeous restaurant. It's been around for about 2.5 years. And we had a great chat with the general manager of the restaurant to talk everything Mott 32, but also just, Las Vegas and where we're at right now.
Yeah, and we're going to have that conversation still to come here on Vegas Revealed with Nathan Grates, the general manager over there at Mott 32.
And some other news to talk about kind of brings the roller skating world and the boxing world together as one.
which is kind of an odd combination.
It is.
I never thought that I would hear that combination.
Well, everyone knows who Floyd Mayweather is, around the world, obviously. Boxing champion. He lives here in Las Vegas. And we have a rink here, a roller skating rink called Crystal Palace that has been open for years, very popular among the roller skating community. And, roller skating is kind of become hip again. It's all over
because
TikTok.
Of TikTok, right?
Yes, they're playing, different songs and roller skating, whether it's in their neighborhood, on the boardwalk, at roller skating rinks, and it's kind of hip and cool again. And I noticed Floyd Mayweather was having this roller skating party at his house with a few friends. One of them was Questlove, and they were posting on his Instagram, roller skating around the house. Not many people can do that, right? But of course,
well,
Floyd
if
Mayweather.
you have a mansion, you can.
Right. So I noticed that, it was probably like a month or so ago. But now we find out that Floyd is purchasing Crystal Palace.
Which is... It's so funny to me because here in Las Vegas, Crystal Palace has been, it's a place where people who grew up in Las Vegas, that's where they went. Crystal Palace was a hot spot starting back in probably the mid 80s and up through, the early 2000s, people would go there and have a great time. People had birthday parties there. People went on dates there. That was just like part of living here in Las Vegas.
You know, roller skating was popular, but it kind of has faded away since the whole rollerblading world and, you know,
Right.
different kinds of things came about. And so, you know, it's difficult to stay afloat, but apparently it's on the market for $4.5 million. And Floyd has said, hey, I'll buy it. I'll buy it. I don't want it to close, and I want to keep this place open.
Well, and for Floyd, I think that's kind of like pocket change.
Right.
Right? So he's like, hey, you know what? He shows off his fancy footwork in the ring, and apparently that spans into roller skating too, since, as you mentioned, Floyd has showed off his roller skating skills on Instagram, and now he's got a place to go and skate to his heart's content. But Floyd is no stranger to Crystal Palace. I think it was back in 2009. He would bring his kids there and roller skate. So he's been there. He knows Crystal Palace, and now he'll know it really well as an owner.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm glad that he did it. Keep that place open, and it's a big part of the Las Vegas community. So, and if you didn't know, and you usually come to the Strip to hang, and maybe you vacation, maybe you want to go roller skate off the Strip. If you didn't know it existed before, now you know.
That's right. Crystal
Maybe
Palace over there on Boulder Highway.
Yeah, maybe you'll see Floyd there doing the backwards skate.
Shoot the duck.
I was a really good roller skater.
Were you?
Oh, my God.
At United Skates of America back in Rochester?
Well, wait, remember when they used to come to the school and they would set up the skates? Did they come to your school?
Yes, they did.
Yes, and then you would do it in the gym.
They had the big wooden racks of brown roller skates with the orange wheels.
My gosh, such a blast. I used to have my back pocket, you know, my comb in my back pocket, and roller skating backwards.
And the Sony Walkman on the belt loop.
Yes, but that's all back now on TikTok. So anyway.
Well, and something else that was good to see this week, Dayna, was it was kind of like a reunion of Las Vegas headliners at the inauguration of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in Washington, D.C. this past week.
Right. It was such a conversation between Las Vegans going, you know, hey, I've seen Gaga at Park MGM, and hey, I saw J-Lo at Zappos Theater, and wow, I saw Garth Brooks at the Encore, and he performed for the inauguration. So it was cool to see them all out there, you know, doing their part.
So the moral of the story is come to Vegas. This is for all the headliners and entertainers who are out there listening. Come to Vegas, get a residency, and your next stop will be at a presidential inauguration.
Oh my gosh. Isn't that funny? Because it used to be the opposite. It was to come to Vegas and just settle down and end your career.
Right.
And now it's completely the opposite.
The script has flipped for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, stay with us. We're going to interview the general manager of Mott 32. It's a great conversation coming up right after the break.
Taking a field trip to the Strip.
Quick reminder, thank you for listening to Vegas Revealed. Remember, we have many other ways that you can watch, listen, also throw us an email and tell us what you want us to cover, all that good stuff. We have a website called vegas-revealed.com.
And that's where you can find all of our social media links. And also remember, in addition to every podcast platform out there, you can listen to our full Vegas Revealed episodes on our Vegas Revealed YouTube channel.
That's right, a new addition, and they seem to be taking off. People are enjoying them, so make sure you check that out. We are on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. All right, welcome back to Vegas Revealed. We are getting ready to celebrate the Chinese New Year. We're super excited. Today we are at Mott 32, which is a restaurant inside the Palazzo, which is inside the Venetian. It is so nice, isn't it, Sean?
It's nice to break outside and be back down here on the Strip again, isn't it? Yeah. And we are joined by Nathan Grates, GM of Mott 32. How's it going, man?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
It's good.
I mean, we were just chatting, and you were saying, you know, things here have been as busy as they can be. You've had steady clientele, and I know you're super thankful for that.
Yeah, it's nice to see we've had a gradual increase since we were able to reopen, and going into the holidays and now Chinese New Year, we're starting to see more familiar faces, some of our regulars coming back. It's been better and better.
Yeah.
And obviously with the cuisine that you present here, Chinese New Year is always a big focus for you guys. But for people who are out of town, or maybe for Las Vegas locals who aren't familiar with Mott 32, kind of give a synopsis of what you're all about here.
So Mott 32 is a concept that came out of Hong Kong. We've had a restaurant there for several years, I think going on 7 years. We have a restaurant in Vancouver as well. But it's very modern as far as appearance. It's a blend of New York industrialism with a lot of the characteristics of like Chinese culture. But we want to make it a little bit more approachable for people who are used to the very, I guess, more traditional Chinese dining. We're kind of open Chinese dining to people, particularly in the Western world, in this case.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and I know you said you've been actually at this restaurant since the beginning. You went to Hong Kong and the whole nine.
I went to Hong Kong. Yeah, I've lived in Vegas for 10 years, but I got lucky enough to go out to Hong Kong, asked to do that, and then bring the restaurant back and open it from the ground up. So
really cool.
that was we opened in December of 2018, and it's been a huge success.
And as we mentioned, Chinese New Year is coming up. What are you doing special to mark the new year this year?
So chefs put together kind of a lot of the traditional dishes, and he tends to kind of bring things out of the woodwork that are very authentic, kind of esoteric dishes, sea cucumber, things that you wouldn't always get necessarily, but they're kind of staples of Chinese cuisine, particularly over the holidays. It's very much like a family event. So families are going to come in. They're all very excited. It's about starting out the new year on the right foot. It's about kind of finishing up the winter season and spring festival and starting, the new year, going into the summer, and on being like basically paying forward prosperous luck and positive vibes throughout the rest of the year.
And lately, isn't that what everyone wants, right? Even has more meaning this year than probably ever before.
Yeah, I could certainly tell you that I'm sure everybody who's dining here this year is looking forward to having a better 2021 than 2020.
Oh, of course. Well, it's interesting, living and working on the Strip and being a part of this whole community in Las Vegas for so long. I mean, a lot of people always used to say to me, well, why didn't you ever leave Las Vegas once you went there? But it's an addicting place to live and work, and the vibe is fun. I mean, is it why you stick around? I mean, obviously, we love to interview people that have been here and are working here, and they got the vibe going. You got it all going.
Vegas, yeah. Everybody, it's funny because everybody has this bias towards Vegas. They think it's just this crazy town that never slows down, but the local community here is incredible. You meet so many diverse people. I mean, you look at me, you wouldn't expect me to be the GM of a fine dining Chinese restaurant. So it's unique in that you can kind of jump around. I've worked with a lot of chefs and a lot of different concepts, and you can jump around and get creative, and nothing's stagnant here. And the local community is really, once you get embraced, it's hard to say no to. So
yeah, and we want everyone to keep coming back to visit us, right?
Yeah, and if you're natural in hospitality, this is like my niche. This is what I love to do. There's no better place to do it. This is the Mecca.
And before you opened Mott 32 here at the Venetian, did you have experience in Chinese cuisine, or was there a learning curve that kind of went along with opening this restaurant?
It was a very steep curve, a very steep curve, especially because you got to think I don't speak any Mandarin or Cantonese.
Right.
My entire kitchen, most of them only speak Mandarin and Cantonese, and what English they do know is very minimal. So you're constantly you're using body language. When you're opening a restaurant, there's a lot of moving parts. It's very difficult to communicate when your number two is a chef who, from Shanghai, who doesn't, he worked at Wing Lei there. I'm sure he had no issues. Now working with me here at Mott 32, we had a lot of growing pains. Mm-hmm. But now we do just fine. We're all very close. But it's no simple task. I worked in French restaurants. I knew nothing about Chinese food. In fact, I was probably more of a Thai food enthusiast. I really enjoyed Thai food. But I tell you, when you eat that, I ate at Mott every day for, breakfast, lunch, dinner in Hong Kong for 2 months while I was out there. And you just study the food, and, there's a lot of crossover, but this is one of the mother cuisines for sure.
And I'm sure that it's been a learning process as you've gone along too. Has there been a single thing that's been the most surprising thing to you about Chinese cuisine?
I wouldn't say so much about the cuisine as to kind of the culture associated with it. you know, what I didn't recognize, like I knew certain aspects of Chinese food, certainly, but like when you step into a room like this and all your guests, or a lot of your guests are Chinese, you have to understand the nuances of the culture, how they like to be greeted, how they like to be served, how quickly they eat. When I came from French fine dining, it was courses, it was spacing in between, it was very structured. With Chinese food, they want the food right away.
Interesting.
It's very communal. It's about getting the family together. It's almost like a ritual in and of itself.
Really interesting because I'm Italian and we eat fast too. So now I know.
It's very similar. Yeah, very family style. There's a lot of similarities to Italian cuisine.
People are always like, "Wait, you're done?" I'm like, "Yep, that was it." I love it. Well, what do you want to say to people that might be thinking to come to Vegas from all around the world? Obviously, we have people here in town locally and that can drive in and come to Mott, but you know, to kind of let them know, hey, we're open. Do you recommend, obviously, reservations, anything they need to do beforehand, prepare themselves?
Yeah, there's a lot of rules right now. So, you know, unfortunately, at the moment, you're only allowed to have 4 guests to a reservation.
Right.
So, you know, we set up our tables as such. You have to make a reservation in advance. So if you are traveling to Vegas, definitely call ahead. There's limited seating for some restaurants. In our case, we have a very big restaurant, so we can take a lot of covers, or at least we're meeting demand without an issue. But there's a lot of smaller restaurants. If you're going, definitely make reservations in advance, and just be mindful of all the, I think Vegas kind of sets the standard with health practices in general. We have a very strict, the Southern Nevada Health Department is very strict with casinos and hotels. So I think, if you're traveling around the world, you'll find that Vegas is probably the most apt and maintaining the policies and keeping people safe. But make reservations. Don't plan on having huge tables sitting all together. And pretty standard. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the family style, you need to somewhat take the family out of family style for a little bit.
Yeah, small families were fine. Larger families, we're going to split you up.
Right, yeah, you got to be split up, but you can still come. You just can't sit at the same table, right? People always forget that. They think they can't have more than 4, and it's like, well, you can. You're just going to be, 3 of you are going to be sitting at another table, and 4 will be in another.
Yeah, and we'll do our best to put you as close to your family members as possible,
sure.
Of course.
And we're open, which is an amazing thing.
Right. Yeah, we're getting a lot of people from California right now, and they're just grateful to have a place to eat out.
Right. Yeah, and even keeping, restaurants come and go, and so it's something when you can stay open and remain open and be successful. I know, probably working in hospitality, I'm sure you've probably seen it. You guys are a success.
Yeah, it's surviving at this point in time is a testament to the operators and the quality of the food. And, I can't stress enough to my staff how important it is to get people coming back who are regulars.
Yeah.
So getting support like that is really critical.
Mm-hmm.
The strong will survive this, and the good restaurants will continue to do well, I think. And hopefully as we get through 2021, it gets better and better.
And I know this is always hard to ask the GM, but do you have a favorite dish that you recommend, or maybe 2? What is a must-have here? No matter what, you've got to have this, even if it's an appetizer or cocktail, anything.
This is year. What is this? This is 2021. So this is year 3, and I eat Chinese food every day. So I'll be honest. I have chef kind of make me some off-the-menu items. Mm-hmm. So if you're listening to this podcast, I would ask for the spicy beef pickle. It's not on the menu.
Okay.
You wouldn't get it otherwise. The dim sum's incredible. I love the dumplings. It depends if I'm in a rush. If it's a busy night, I'm eating dim sum. I just pop it in your mouth and then you're back out on the floor.
Good.
Couple bites.
Yeah.
But the M6 is really good. I really like that dish. I try to eat fairly clean here. So
good.
The spicy beef pickle?
Spicy beef pickle is incredible. Yeah.
I like all of it. I like spice, I like beef, and I like pickles.
You can't go wrong.
It's pickled vegetables. We say
figured.
pickle, but it's pickled vegetables and beef. It's a new dish. I don't know. They make things every once in a while. I'm like, what's that? He says, do you want to try it? I'm like, yeah, great. And our chef's wonderful about those things. He'll always cook for me.
So Nate, obviously, we are in a Chinese establishment. Did you have to learn any Chinese? Are there any traditional sayings that we should know?
Yeah, signature one, obviously, for the holiday. If you want to say Happy New Year, you say Sun Lin Fai Lok. And I probably butchered that as far as the dialect, but Sun Lin Fai Lok.
Sun Lin Fai Lok?
Like Sun Lin Fai Lok.
Okay.
And I don't even, I'm the wrong guy to say this, but Sun Lin Fai Lok means Happy New Year. They'll know what you're saying. And then Gong Hei Fat Choi is like my favorite one to say, and it just basically means have a prosperous New Year.
Love it. And that's a good that's the good old standard, right? What's the other one? Sun
Lin Fai Lok is Happy New Year, but Gong Hei Fat Choi.
Got it. See, you're not attempting to
You say that.
me.
Say that to somebody who doesn't think you speak Chinese, and it'll make them smile for sure.
Okay, good one. I'll listen back to this recording.
Well, as we do head into the Chinese New Year, we wish you prosperity. Thanks so much for your time, and thanks for having us in.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Nate.
All right, it is time for our 2 tips of the week, and we have talked about and experienced Las Vegas food tours before here on Vegas Revealed, Dayna, but there's another one to talk about.
Yeah, Taste Buzz is what it's called. It's Taste Buzz Food Tours, and this is one we actually hadn't heard of yet, so I was excited to learn about this because we love to support small businesses.
Yep.
And this is something when we were thinking like, hey, this would be really great for Valentine's Day, or even if you're just a foodie or, anytime really, but when you think about things to do for Valentine's Day coming up, this could be something. And it's a food tour that actually takes place. There's one in downtown, there's one in the Arts District downtown, and then there's another one on the Las Vegas Strip.
Yeah, and these food tours really are a great way to experience a variety of restaurants, a variety of food, all within a few hours, and it's all pre-planned for you. The bill is all taken care of with the cost of your food tour. So it really is such a fun way to hop around and fill your belly at the same time.
That's right. And they do a variety. They have like some top-rated restaurants, and also they tour you around to some Las Vegas culture. They also give you some insider tips on your tour, some foodie tips. And apparently, I think I was reading too that they even like stop at some food trucks and stuff like that.
That's really cool. And
Yeah.
and you do see some really great sights along the way as you go from restaurant to restaurant too.
Yeah. I mean, and the cool thing is if you sign up and book a tour with them, they do give a portion of the ticket to 3 Square, which is our big food bank here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and every dollar there, I think, creates 3 meals for people who are in need of food. So that really is a great side contribution to these food tours. And what is this one called again, Dayna?
So this is Taste Buzz. I'm going to tell you the website because you want to go there and look around. They've got great videos, all information about the tours. And let me tell you, it does look really, really fun. This is tastebuzzvegas.com. That's where you're going to get more information. Check it out and support, some of these different kinds of things we have going on while a lot of our shows are shut down.
Yeah, that is really cool. And a separate food tour is actually joining forces with Maverick Helicopters. It's called Savory Bites and Neon Lights. So you go to a bunch of restaurants, then you hop on a Maverick helicopter and get a tour of the Las Vegas Strip. And, there are other helicopter packages that take you out to Red Rock Canyon and then fly you back up the Las Vegas Strip. That includes a champagne toast while you're flying. That's the Neon in Nature. And then there are just other flights on Maverick helicopters that allow you to take in the neon lights of the Las Vegas Strip at night. So a helicopter ride is another great way to consider spending Valentine's Day.
That's right. Very romantic. And I'm sure you'll score brownie points if you book that one.
Yeah, I bet you will.
And Maverick Helicopters, one of the best, I think one of the best Instagram sites that I follow if you love Las Vegas pictures, because they always take these great aerial shots and post them on their Instagram, and they are just gorgeous. They take some really good ones.
Yeah, and they do flights out to the Hoover Dam, so over Lake Mead. They do have a wide variety, so if you are interested in booking a Maverick helicopter tour, you can go to flymaverick.com. Fly, MAVERICK.com.
All right. Well, that is this week's tips. As we approach Valentine's Day, we still got a little while, so you have plenty of planning to do.
But you got to book because this stuff fills up quick.
It's true. Very true. And especially with our limited capacity stuff. We
Yep.
always got to book early, book early, book early. We say it over and over again.
And we hope that you book early to join us for our next episode of Vegas Revealed, because we're going to be back right here again next week.
That's right. And remember, if you want to start a podcast, go to buzzsprout.com and sign up. It's super easy. We have a referral code in our listener notes that will get you a $20 Amazon gift card if you sign up. So many people have been asking about how to start a podcast lately. And let me tell you, Buzzsprout is what we use. It's super user-friendly. You will pick it up in minutes.
So again, thanks for joining us this week, and we'll be back in your ears next time.
All right. See you then. Hear you then. Talk to you then.
Bye.
Let's go to Vegas. Let's get away.